it's Tammy. I am here to do another recipe. Tonight we are going to have Parmesan chicken, or chicken Parmesan I guess, and some garlic knots. I've never had these before. I've had the New York brand other things, and this looks really good, so I thought that I would make these, and then we're also going to have a salad. So first what I did is I have some oil on the stove heating, and I'm just going to take our chicken, which is already trimmed and ready, and it's the thin sliced because you want it to be pretty thin. And I think I'm going to do it this way. And then I'll dip it in this egg, and then I will dip it in these Italian breadcrumbs, which I saved the thing. It's just Italian style breadcrumbs. I don't even know how much. It doesn't really matter. Just that's probably about 3/4 of a cup to a cup. And this is just one egg, and I've kind of beaten it, and if it doesn't get all incorporated, that's okay. It's really not a big deal. It's just to coat the chicken. And so what we do is we coat the chicken, and I think I'm actually going to take this over to the stove. You coat the chicken in the egg, and then in this, and then you put it on the stove, and you let it get brown on both sides, and then we're going to also bake it in the oven. So I'm going to take this over to the stove. And my husband made his lunch today here, and he still has his dishes out. That's okay. So we have the egg mixture. And you might hear my cat in the background crying because he wants some food. He thinks that because I'm in the kitchen it means it's time for food, which is about right, but usually we feed them around this time. And I'm like running out of space here. Goodness gracious. Oops, I just dropped my knife, my spoon that I use for coffee. Oh well. I'll just use my space for that. And I will switch these around now. Goodness gracious. Let's get organized. Alright, I think that I'm ready. So the oil seems like it's at least hot enough. I'm just going to take this thin cutlet, and it says trimmed and ready, but there's still some fat on there that I would probably take off, but I don't like fat. And then I'm just going to coat it in the chicken, or in the Italian breadcrumbs. You could also use panko and then some Italian seasoning, which I would do if I had any panko, but I do not. So Italian breadcrumbs it is. I don't even know how many chicken fillets we will find in here. This one's a little thicker. And see, I don't like all that fat on there. That's nasty. There. This one might be a little too thick for what I normally like to do it, but that's okay. I'll just go with it. That might even be able to be cut into two, but that's okay. I like them pretty thin because they're going to cook. And if they're all the same thickness, it's easier to cook them at the same temperature, the same time. You know, this thicker one is going to take a little longer to cook than the thinner ones. And looks like we have 2 more, which is great because my daughter isn't going to have any of the chicken, and that means that there's 4. So my husband and I can each have 1, and then we can take 1 to lunch tomorrow. So I like to do that. I don't know if you guys like to prepare leftovers for lunch, but it's nice for me to have something already prepared, because otherwise I end up spending money that I don't really want to spend. I'm just getting oil underneath that one. I guess I could have spent some time prepping the chicken a little bit better, just to make sure they were all the same size and thickness, and to get all that fat off, but that's okay. Now, this is chicken that we're messing with, so I'm not going to reuse these breadcrumbs at all. Not that I would reuse any, even if it wasn't chicken, but just I like to be extra careful with chicken. And because, you know, it carries all that yuck. So put this on here, and I might take a little bit and just put it over, like just coat it. Whoops, I'm making a mess there, but that's good. And then I'm just going to take both of these to the sink, and I will let those get washed, and I'm going to wash my hands. I'm turning this off, and I'm going to put some oil in this pan. That's going to be the pan that has the spaghetti sauce. This pan has butter in it, and it's melted pretty good, and I'm going to add some vegetables in it for my daughter, who doesn't want to eat the chicken, but she will eat some vegetables with her noodles. I don't even know if she wants red sauce. She sometimes says she doesn't like it, other times she thinks it's alright, so I don't know. I'll put it on the side and I'll let her decide. But I will fry up some vegetables for her, just to bring out some of the flavor. And in the thing with the oil, I'm going to add some onions for us. And that's going to be the, my pot is well loved, as you can see. That's going to be the spaghetti sauce. So I'm putting that in there. And I'm going to go ahead and heat up the oven to 350. And I'm also going to add some garlic to this onion. And I kind of cheat, and I just use this minced garlic. I really like that. It's really good. So I have the chicken going, and those are the vegetables. And I'm just going to take a spoon and dip down and get a good amount of garlic and add that to the pan, maybe even just a little bit more. I don't know, even just a little. That last one wasn't even hardly anything. There. And I have this tomato and basil marinara that I've never used before. I actually think I got it at CVS. They were having a sale on their Prego or Ragu or something, and they didn't have any more, so they were substituting this. So we shall see. And I have some tomato paste that I had left over from something else, and I thought that I would put this in there too because I just don't have another use for it. And I have some Italian seasoning that I buy at Sam's. It's a huge big thing of it, but I like to add that also to my tomato sauce. I'm going to just use that same thing that we used earlier. I might even add some garlic to Katie's. She'd probably like that. Get a little bit of garlic and add that to hers. When the onion starts to get cooked down, I will add the rest. I will add the marinara. And I'm just going to stir this vegetables up a little bit. I love broccoli cooked this way. Actually, I love any vegetables cooked this way. And these are looking pretty good. I don't know if they're brown on the other side yet. Let's take a quick peek. Nope, not yet. I'm not cooking them through. I'm just getting them brown on each side. And then I'll stick them in the oven for about 25 minutes probably, with some cheese on top. And I forgot to get the cheese out. So, oops, and I'm putting them, I was putting the garlic on the stove. That's not going to work, is it? That's where my oil goes. So let's get out some cheese. Here's our fridge. I'm going to use the, I think I have some mozzarella. If I don't, I guess I will use this Fiesta blend. That'll be just fine. Unless I have some mozzarella down here. Nope. I will just use the mozzarella sticks to blend, that's fine. And I'm also going to go ahead and get out this salad, which is half and half. It's half spring mix and half spinach, which makes it all delicious. Oh, and one of the onions tried to escape. Get back in here. So I'm just stirring up the pot. Yeah, I think that's good enough. And I will add the marinara sauce. It's pretty good. And actually what I like to do is add some water to this, and then just to get it all out, and then I put the lid back on it and I shake it up. It's kind of hard to do with one hand, but I think we're getting it. And I've heard some say that they like the recipes, so I put just a little bit of water, shake it up. That way I get all of the marinara out. Put that in there, and then I'm going to take this and try to push that in there too. Yeah, that's good enough. I'll throw these in the sink. And I will stir this around a bit. It's going to make it extra thick with that tomato paste in there. I don't normally add that, but I'm just adding it because I had it and I didn't want it to go to waste. And if I need to add more water because of that, I will. Okay, I think I'm going to flip these puppies over. Yeah, that looks good. Boop. One more. Alright. And again, those aren't being really cooked. They're just being browned on all sides, and I'm just stirring up the vegetables. I'm going to turn this down a little bit. I have it on 5. I'm going to move it to about 2.6. And I didn't add the Italian seasoning yet to the marinara, but I will. And I do think I'm going to need a little bit more water to that already. It's looking kind of thick, so I'm going to go ahead and put a little bit more in this jar. And add that. And stir that puppy around again. And it's going to be simmering on here for a while, so it'll thicken up while it's simmering. But let me tell you, it smells good up in here. And then after I put these chicken in the oven, I'm going to just put a pot of water on the stove so that I can heat up. That noise just means that my oven is preheated. So that I can heat up the spaghetti. And I have angel hair pasta that I'm using this time. And I'm just trying to fill up the pot a little bit. So all of that is going. Oh, I guess I can put this olive oil away. And I'm just filling up my pot. I'll let the hot water run a little bit so that I can use that to wash some of the pans as they get done. I will probably cut the angel hair pasta in half or break it in half before I put it in the pan. That looks good. So, let's see how this is looking. Okay, this is looking pretty good, and since the oven is preheated, I am going to go ahead and put some cheese on these. Oh, the cheese isn't opened yet. Oh boy. Sorry, I'm trying to do this with one hand. Alright, so just taking a cheese, and usually I would use mozzarella, but really it doesn't matter that much. And I'm just going to put some on top of each piece, and it'll melt real nice in the oven. And this is a pot that I can just easily, nicely put in the oven with no worries, or a pan, I don't know, whatever it is. And so I'm just going to place this in the oven, and it goes. And then I'm going to take my water, if I can carry it with one hand. Oh. There we go. And put that on, and there's something back there. What is that? Oh, that's some breadcrumb. And all of this is trash. I need to clean up this pan. That was what he made his lunch with. And this is... Oh! I almost dropped my phone. Sorry about that, guys. This is almost done. So I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to let this water come to a boil, and I'm going to simmer the tomato sauce, and I'm going to put some of the stuff away, throw some of the trash away, and I'll be back to show you some more. All right, now I'm just getting the salad ready. I was going to put it in this cute little new thing that I got at TJ Maxx for $12, and I just love it, but then I figured that it was probably getting too fancy and it would just be something extra I'd have to wash. So I'm not going to use it, but I thought I'd show it anyway. So I have just 3 salads here. I have the biggest one for my daughter, and then the medium one for me, and the smallest one for my husband. And I just put cheddar cheese on both of theirs. My husband doesn't particularly care for this kind of tomato, so I'm going to put a bunch on mine and a bunch on my daughter's, and maybe just a couple on his. He doesn't particularly care for those kind, but I love them. And he loves cucumbers, so I chopped up a seedless cucumber. I'll put a few slices on ours, and then I'll give him a little bit more. And then I also chopped up some green onion, and I'll just put that on top. And my family loves onions, so. And I like feta cheese. I put the cheddar cheese on theirs, but I enjoy feta, so I'm going to put feta on mine. These are salad crispins. They're made by Hidden Valley Ranch, and they're yummy. They're like little croutons. I don't think Katie wants any. And then some bacon bits. My husband, as most husbands, loves bacon, and frankly so do I. I mean, who doesn't love bacon? And then I have some Parmesan cheese over here to put on top of the chicken Parmesan. These are pretty much done. I'm just kind of waiting for the noodles to get a little bit more done. They might be just about there. I might like to try one if I can. That's kind of hard. Oh, I think they're still a little, yeah, they're not done yet. But just a little bit longer. So that's it for now. Okay, here it is all plated up. This one is mine. This one is my husband's. And this is what my daughter's looks like with no red sauce, just vegetables. And then our salads are over there with ranch. So we are going to enjoy. To show you, there's a ton of angel hair pasta left over. There's not so much sauce left over. I would probably maybe make a little bit more. And then there's 2 chicken breasts left. So I'm going to prepare those for lunch tomorrow while everybody is washing their hands and getting ready for dinner.